The greatest threat to your independence in your 50s isn't a fall or even an illness, but a silent, slow retreat of the blood within your own legs. For millions of adults over the age of 50, the world is physically shrinking. It starts subtly. A heaviness in the calves after a short walk, ankles that seem a bit more swollen by dinner time, cold toes that stay frozen even under heavy blankets. We call it the natural tax of aging. We tell ourselves it's just what happens when the odometer of life turns over. But is it? In Japan, people in their 70s and 80s are still walking confidently, climbing stairs without hesitation, and moving through daily life with ease. Japan itself is a small island nation, roughly 20% the size of Texas, yet it holds the highest concentration of people aged 100 and above on Earth. In 1963, just 153 people were over age 100. Today, that number is close to 100,000, and researchers keep asking the same question. What are they doing differently? Part of the answer lives in their legs, specifically how they manage the return of blood from the furthest reaches of the body. In Japan, movement is simply built into the day. It's woven into ordinary life, just like brushing your teeth is. But why do your legs feel weaker, heavier, and numb after 50? Every time your calf muscles contract, they squeeze the deep veins in the lower leg and push blood upward back to the heart. This cycle is called the calf muscle pump, and it's the primary force keeping blood moving in your lower body. After 50, this pump gets quieter. We sit more, we move less, blood slows down in the lower legs. And that heaviness you feel, that stiffness in the morning, now that's what slowed circulation feels like. The good news is it responds quickly to the right movements. And Japanese elders have been doing those movements for nearly a century. In the next few minutes, you'll discover 3 simple daily movements from Japan that can improve your balance, reduce that feeling of heaviness, and help you stay strong as you age. But before we proceed, please note that everything mentioned in this video is based on credible research and has been reviewed by qualified health professionals. These movements are simple, gentle, and suitable for beginners. And while we're here to provide insight into cultural longevity practices, always listen to your body and be sure to consult a healthcare professional for personalized medical advice. With that said, let's look at why these specific Japanese techniques are so effective for those of us over 50. Number 1, the Shiko Sway. For this movement, we look toward the sumo ring. While sumo wrestlers are known for their size, they are equally famous for their incredible flexibility and leg health. They perform a movement called Shiko, which involves lifting the leg high and stomping it. You don't need to be a sumo wrestler to benefit from their legendary leg strength. For our purposes, we've modified this into a gentle sway that is safe for everyone. This movement targets the inner thighs and hip flexors. The largest blood vessels in your lower body pass through your groin and hips. If you spend most of your day sitting, these highways become compressed. No matter how much you move your ankles, if the highway at the hip is blocked, the blood cannot return to the torso efficiently. So here's the movement. Stand with your feet slightly wider than your shoulders. Point your toes slightly outward at about 30 degrees. Place your hands on a countertop for safety. Keeping your torso upright, gently shift your weight to the right leg, bending the knee just a few inches. Hold for 2 seconds, then shift slowly to the left. You don't need to squat deep, just a gentle, rhythmic sway. This movement opens the hip area, allowing for a massive flush of blood through the largest vessels in the legs. In Japan, this is believed to keep the internal fire of the legs burning, ensuring that the limbs stay warm and responsive. Number 2, the gate opener. If you feel stiffness in your knees after sitting for just 20 minutes, your circulatory gates might be closing. In that case, this movement may be just what you need. It targets the quadriceps and, more importantly, the area directly behind your knee, also known as the popliteal space. The thigh muscles are the largest muscles in the body, and they are largely ignored by most circulation advice. When we sit, our knees are bent at a 90-degree angle. For a 20-year-old, this is fine. But for those of us over 55, the tissues around the knee become less pliable. This kink or pinch in the hose can restrict the flow of blood to the lower leg. This movement can be done from the comfort of your favorite chair. Here's how. Sit tall, making sure your back is supported. Slowly straighten your right leg out in front of you until it is locked, but not forced. Flex your toes back toward your face. Feel that stretch in the calf? Hold it. Now point your toes away from you like a ballet dancer. Lower the leg and repeat on the left. This movement unpinches the major arteries and veins behind the knee. It stretches the vessels and encourages them to remain open and elastic. When you flex and point your toe while the leg is extended, you're creating a push-pull effect on the blood vessels, making sure that the gate to your lower legs remains wide open. If you're finding these movements helpful, please take a moment to tap the like button and subscribe to our channel. It helps us continue to bring these evidence-based stories to life. We're building a strong and active community for adults over 50 right here, and your presence truly makes a difference. Let's show the world that strength has no age limit. And now, back to the exercises. We saved the simplest and easiest for last. This might look too simple to matter, but it is incredibly powerful for your balance and heart health. Number 3, the Second Heart Activator. Now, this might surprise you to know that one of the most powerful circulation tools in existence fits inside a pair of shoes. The heart is a magnificent pump. It sends oxygen-rich blood down to your feet with incredible efficiency. But due to gravity, to get that blood back up from your ankles to your heart, your body cannot rely on the heart alone. It is too far away. This is why Japanese researchers often refer to the calves as the second heart. If you sit for hours or if your leg muscles become inactive, that blood pools. This is where the heaviness and the swelling begin. So our last movement targets your calf muscles, and here it is. Stand behind a chair with your feet hip-width apart. Rest your hands lightly on the back for balance. Slowly rise up onto the balls of your feet. Hold that squeeze at the top for exactly 1 second. Slowly lower your heels back to the floor. That's 1 repetition. Do 15 to 20 repetitions. Move slowly and deliberately. The slower the better. Think of your calf as a sponge filled with water. When you squeeze the sponge, the water is forced out. When you perform a heel rise, you are physically compressing the deep veins of the leg. This milks the blood upward, clearing out the stagnant fluid and making room for fresh, oxygenated blood to arrive. In Japan, it's often said that the goal of daily life is to never let the second heart stop beating. The secret to the Japanese lifestyle isn't intensity. It is integration. And these movements fit so easily into your life. You don't need to set aside an hour for a workout. In fact, research suggests that short micro movements throughout the day are more effective for circulation than one long session followed by hours of sitting. Imagine your circulatory system like a stream. If the water stops moving, it becomes stagnant and cloudy. If you stir the water every hour, it remains clear. You can do the heel rises while brushing your teeth or while your morning coffee is brewing. You can do the gate opener while reading the morning news. You can practice the Shiko Sway for 1 minute before you sit down for dinner. Always start slowly and use support if needed. If a movement feels sharp or painful, stop. Our mission is to build strength and flow, not to cause strain. The goal is to make these movements as natural as breathing. Remember the beginning of this video. Heavy legs after a walk, stiff ankles in the morning. The quiet assumption that this is just what aging feels like. Japanese elders didn't accept that assumption. They moved instead, and they did it consistently. That's what these 3 movements ask of you too. Pick one. Start today. Do it for a week. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to begin. Your future self, the one who walks confidently, who moves without hesitation, is built in moments exactly like this one. If you enjoyed this video, tell me about it in the comments. Hit subscribe to stay in the club. And if you haven't seen our video on balance, that's a great one to watch next. Thanks for watching. Move calm, live strong, and I'll see you in the next one.